this one is going to be a huge debate. A national survey just found something that would have been unthinkable 5 years ago. Preference for an open concept home versus a more traditional separated layout is now split 50-50. And I don't really think this is about floor plans at all. I think this is about sameness. For about 15 years, almost every renovated home followed the same formula. Knock down the wall, white kitchen, big island, repeat. And I just think people are finally tired of walking into the house that feels like every other house that they toured the same weekend. So let's back up to 2020 and 2021 for a second. Open concept wasn't a preference then. It was the only right answer. A house with a wall between the kitchen and the living room got scrolled right past when someone was looking at a house online. Agents told sellers to knock down walls before listing photos. And guess what? Everybody did it. So landing at 50-50 5 years later is a big deal. And listen, it's not that open concept layouts are lost. It's that doing the exact same thing to every single house finally caught up to itself. And listen, open concept isn't dead. And I want to say that up front. For a lot of families, it's still a great layout. Cooking, homework, TV, everybody in the same space instead of being tucked away from each other. And it's great for entertaining. And the light difference is honestly a very big thing in these types of houses. A closed kitchen on the wrong side of the house sits dark all day, and people notice that. And opening it up fixes that instantly. This isn't an open concept is dead video. It's a here's why people are craving something different video. And here's what I think actually happened. Builders and flippers figured out the formula, and it worked. So everybody used it. Every renovation, every new listing, same white cabinets, same island with the pendant lights, and then literally every house looks the same. And the thing that used to feel like an upgrade starts to feel just like a template. Too much of one thing, even a good thing, wears off. People walk through their fifth identical open kitchen of the houses that they're looking at on the weekend, and all of a sudden they start craving a house that actually feels like somewhere, not like a showroom. And I think the practical stuff caught up alongside the fatigue. A kitchen table that's your desk once in a while is fine. A kitchen table that's your desk 5 days a week with the TV going and the dishwasher running is a problem. And you can't focus on a call in a space with zero separation from everything else happening in the house. Same with the sound. An open floor plan means you hear the dishwasher and the TV, and then when you get a phone call, you can't just close a door because there isn't one. And those aren't new complaints. I just think they finally outweighed the appeal of the look everyone had gotten so used to. And this by no means happened overnight. Back in 2020, most people worked from home maybe every now and then, so the noise and the lack of privacy wasn't a big deal. 5 years later, things have just changed. Hybrid and remote work settled in as permanent. It's not necessarily temporary anymore. And a temporary inconvenience became a daily friction point. A buyer walking through a house today isn't just picturing where the couch goes. They're picturing that 9 a.m. phone call happening 10 feet from the barking dog and a dishwasher on the pot scrub cycle. And that mental math is a lot more common than it was 5 years ago. So what's winning right now? In my opinion, it's not a full return to these closed off, boxy houses. It's homes with a little personality again. A defined office that you can shut the door, a kitchen with a little visual separation instead of a total open exposure, some character in the finishes instead of that same white and gray palette in every house. It's not the most open layout, but it's not the most closed one either. It's the one that doesn't look like every other house on the block. And I'm seeing this show up in specific ways on walkthroughs. Pocket doors are back. Buyers like the flexibility of a room that can close off for a call or can stay open for a party without permanently committing to either. Butler's pantries are back too, and not just as a trend. They let the kitchen stay photogenic while giving someone somewhere to hide the mess, which solves the every dish is on display problem without closing off the entire room. And a defined mudroom or a drop zone near the garage or carport is becoming a bigger deal than it used to be, because it's one more space where a house can feel considered instead of like an afterthought. None of these require gutting a house back to a 1990s floor plan. They're small, they're specific choices that add character back into a layout without undoing the openness that people still want. Let's do this. Picture two kitchens. One's fully open, no wall, nothing. Straight line from the front door to the living room. Does it photograph well? 100%. But there's zero buffer. Every dish in the sink is on display the second someone walks in, and it looks like the same kitchen you saw in 3 other homes last week. Now, picture a kitchen with maybe a half wall or some sort of visual break. Maybe some color, a design choice that feels specific to the house. Same connected feel, but it has a little bit of a buffer and a little bit of personality. That's the difference I think is actually resonating with buyers right now. Not open versus closed, but generic versus lived in. Same with a home office. A nook off the kitchen with no door as a bonus space 5 years ago where no one used it very much, not a big deal. If it's your workspace 5 days a week now, buyers are noticing that on walkthroughs. And a small room with a door reads completely different than it did 5 years ago, even if the house has the same square footage. And here's something interesting that I've noticed pulling listings around Atlanta lately. Homes marketed as open concept are averaging around 76 days on the market. Homes with a more traditional separated layout are closer to 56. Now, I don't think that this is proof that buyers are chasing a specific floor plan. I think it's proof that homes with a little more character, something that doesn't look identical to every other house on the market, is winning right now. This is exactly why I wanted to make this video. If you're selling and your home is the same wall removed white kitchen home as a lot of other homes on the market, you're not doing anything wrong, but you're just not standing out. And standing out is worth more than it has in years. If you're buying a home with a little more character, defined rooms, some warmth that isn't that cookie cutter finish, that's not a compromise. That might be exactly what you didn't know you were craving after touring 20 houses and you haven't been able to pull the trigger on any of them. And none of this means walk away from an open concept home. It means look at whether the house has some character of its own, not whether it matches the formula. Hey, if you like this video, then go check out this next one where I go over the biggest mistakes to avoid when buying a home. I will see you over there.